to continue our Grammy talks, Rapsody won her first Grammy for a record with Erykah Badu for Best Melodic Rap Performance for 3 a.m. at the 2025 Grammys. I think it's Erykah Badu's first in 2 decades. Now, I looked at the nominees and I listened to all the records, and I think that I would actually agree, based upon the nominees, that Rapsody and Erykah probably had the best song out of all of them.
That record's dope.
Is this important for hip hop?
I think it is, because Rapsody's story being with Ninth and Jamila, pretty much being somewhat underground, but
not to mention Rock Nation.
Rock Nation, thank you. I think this is dope. I think this may have some legs because she's likable. This is a person that you see her win, her and Erykah Badu. I'm like, that's dope. I'm happy for her. I was genuinely happy that she won this. So hopefully other people can be as happy and also see that, you can make product like this and you can be rewarded for it. So I'm with it. I like it. I think it might have some legs.
I feel like I think you can make product like this and be rewarded for it if you're in this system and they're aware of you and and you have the label backing.
So you're saying you got to have the machine as well as the content.
You have to be a part of the machine to be a part of the Grammys.
Rock Nation.
If you're not a part of the machine, then you don't get invited to the Grammys.
She's been dope prior to the machine, to her credit. So I see where you're going there. She's been dope prior to the machine.
I do want to know who else was in this category, because I think what you were saying, it's important, but this is a segment of the Grammys that was not televised. So generally, this is a situation to where it turns into a conversation piece.
Yeah.
Because it didn't get as much pub, it didn't get as much viewership on it.
Right.
Who else was in this category?
Beyonce and Shabuzi's Spaghetti. Lotto's Big Mama.
Wow.
Kehlani. How do you know?
Kehlani, you're right.
Kehlani.
And Jordan Adetunji. Song's called Kehlani. And The Weeknd, We Still Don't Trust You with Future.
Okay.
I listened to all of them. I think the Beyonce record was the only one where I could maybe think, okay, maybe. Actually, to be honest, The Weeknd, the Future record, We Still Don't Trust You, was actually super vibey.
Yeah.
Kind of had like that's actually a Future record I actually kind of like, but he wasn't really doing a lot on the record, so.
Never does.
Yeah, because I kind of wanted to know, I'm pretty sure they've probably been doing the melodic hip hop song for a while.
Yeah,
now.
this has been a pretty.
So I wanted to know what the criteria is behind.
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
Being included in that
certain
category.
amount of singing has to be involved.
Rhapsody's album was very good.
Basically, it's the R&B hip hop collaboration.
But that's interesting too, because like the Future, The Weeknd record, I don't think Future was rapping at all. You know what I mean? So it's like best rap performance with a melodic. Well, I guess it's just melodic rap performance. So so she won because of Erykah Badu's portion of it.
I don't know, but
perhaps.
I mean, the record's really good.
The melodic part.
It's funny
really
because
good.
the rest of those songs that you named are all commercially successful as far as radio is concerned. That Rapsody Erykah Badu song is not, at least not in our demographic.
No,
in our region, I've never heard that song.
It doesn't fit.
It's not comparable to the other four.
No,
not
not commercially successful. So
right.
Well, she beat Beyonce in any category. Like, that's impressive.
Yeah, that's very impressive.
True.
And it kind of goes to back to our previous conversation about who's on this board. Because if you think about
13,000 people,
a changing of the guard, so to speak.
Yeah.
If their musical ear is that in tune to where they would pick a Rapsody featuring Erykah Badu album over who else was considered in this category based on commercial success, that actually you know what I'm saying, speaks volumes as far as, you know what I'm saying, consumer point of view, because a lot of consumers don't have a clue of who Rapsody is. They might know who Erykah Badu is, but they don't know who Rapsody is, especially based on those songs that are in that.
So how it works? So hopefully how it works is they know now, so they can go back.
I don't think
do their
that
research.
happened though, because it wasn't even televised.
I don't think the televised part, like, we always talk about the televised, especially feeling slighted where hip hop is, especially if you understand this is the number one.
But it happens in rock music too, though.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Not one rock category and once again, I didn't think about it because like my focus is hip hop. But, and the thing is, like, they had establishment acts. Like, you want to talk about establishment acts. The Rolling Stones and the Beatles won the rock categories.
Yeah.
I don't feel like when we talk about Killer Mike, we talk about some of the other artists who've won, who don't make what I consider to be rap music that is palatable to the Grammy voter. Okay, because like you're not going to talk about the Black Brulee and all this other stuff that Killer Mike was talking about and think, yeah, I'm gonna really get whoever who loves the most mainstream, most palatable hip hop that my kids might like. I'm gonna vote for Killer Mike. So in that way, I do think it is encouraging to people who want to actually make music about something, even if you don't care anything about that validation and it doesn't define you. I think that's the thing. I don't, even if you say, this validation does not define me, you can still say, I'm glad to receive it and
Sure.
for me to take my message and have the platform of the Grammys to push my message and the things that I'm trying to say and speak about things that I feel are important. And I think that's what Killer Mike has done, because everywhere he goes now, he is, Grammy Award winning artist, Killer Mike. And now Rapsody can say the same thing. And so with that, maybe, like I said, I didn't like this Rapsody album as much as I loved the last one she did.
I actually like this one more.
Yeah,
Really?
I did, man. I'm with Lone on that one. I enjoyed
I
it.
might have to go back, because the one that she did previous is, I think it was around the pandemic there that came out. I listened to that. That was when I put out my year-end list. That was my number one album of that year.
Yeah, I didn't really like that one too much.
Musically, this one here, yeah.
So it's also a thing where like, okay, you can go in these spaces and say, look, I got a Grammy. Like, I need another shot. Because a lot of times with records that don't perform a certain way, that's the end of people's careers, essentially, or even having a chance to be recognized and push their message through the machine, because, they're like, well, whatever, it didn't do this. But then if you say, I want a Grammy for this, there are people who are so into other people's validation, whether it be these radio programmers, these people who write for magazines, these people who edit and own magazines. Well, print is dead, but, these online platforms that, perform as magazines now. When Rapsody, something, her press kit or whatever, or one of her representatives, contacts one of these outlets, they're more apt to pick up the phone because there's so much clutter out here. So like, I can be, like I said, I like the song. I didn't think it was going to win, just because when you look at the heavy hitters who are in that category, you can understand why, sometimes there's just things that get nominated. And you're like, oh man, I remember when Foreign Exchange got nominated. I was so happy they got nominated, but I knew they weren't going to win. I mean, like, and they lost to an album that I don't think was very good. I think it, like, NDRE had put out an album that I just thought was just trash. Sorry, and I love NDRE, but like, this wasn't it. And
Was that the one where she cut her hair off?
I don't even remember. It's one of those records I listened to once and I was like, I'm done. And it certainly wasn't as good as what the Foreign Exchange had put out that year. And sometimes I think like there are people on the Grammy boards that like, hey, we'll seem like we have some credibility if we have this here. We won't let it win. But now I think, seeing this, I think is encouraging specifically for, and like I said, I'm not trying to pit women against each other, but when you see Doechii win, when you see Rapsody win, you're like, okay, maybe that will encourage other female hip hop artists. It's like, we don't have to, shake ass to be validated and have the industry acknowledge our artistic merit. So, I mean, like I said, I could be completely wrong, and there'll be 10 Sexy Reds and 10 Lottos and all that. And that's because, hey, that's what pays the bills and keeps things moving in these buildings. But I'm just saying, like, there is another way for art, just like the same way Kendrick is acknowledged, like for all the, for him to be able to put out these songs about emotional intelligence and, and being able to talk about therapy and relationships with his family, there's a place for that. And you just don't have to talk about strip clubs and shooting people like that. I mean, I understand that's the quick buck, but there is another way. If you want to become an artist and become successful. And like, there are definitely now things that you can look to.
Yeah. That's why I was saying, I kind of feel like the era of the artist is kind of here right now, because it's requiring more from you artistically as a musician versus just doing the bare minimum in order to be. I mean, you can do that to be accepted into the fold essentially, but for you to be a decorated musician is going to take more now. I think people are kind of shifting their focus over to people that have more substance to their music, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I hope you're right.
I mean, because none of you are selling any
I really
records.
hope you're right.
Yeah,
So
sure.
you might as well talk about something.